So lately I've been having a ton of fun playing my guitar live on stream. However, getting everything set up and working the way I wanted it to was nowhere near as straightforward as it might appear. So in this video what we're going to do is take a little walk through my setup and just show you what's going on behind the scenes. So our first protocol is going to be our digital audio workstation, or DAW. Now in my case I use Reaper, but there's plenty of other alternatives out there if you want to use something else. Now this all looks very busy and confusing, but I've gone above and beyond what you really need to do for this one here. What we have is a separate track for each one of the component parts of my backing tracks, because I've separated it out into drums, bass, guitar, so forth, so I can cut things out and add things in where I need them. You could just have it set up so you have simple stereo backing tracks and just play along to them. There's no need for the complexity that I've put into it, but I like to go that wee step further. As well as each one of the individual component parts of our songs, we also have a separate track here, which actually contains the guitar itself, okay? And on this track, what we have is we've got our tuner to make sure that we are in tune, obviously. We have our distortion sound, which comes from this Amped Roots plugin. It sounds a little bit like this. Very nice little amp model there. Also free if you want to use it. On our channel strip we also have a little EQ just to take out some of the lows and give a little sparkle in the high. We actually have a bass amp as our preamp to get our clean tones here, but it works very nicely for what I'm doing. As well as that, there is also a reverb and a delay on that channel strip, but that's just about everything. All of those plugins are all controlled with the automation I've programmed in here. You'll see all these little changes in this line here, and this is basically either turning something on or off or changing where my guitar is in the mix, because depending on whether or not I'm playing a solo or I'm playing just a rhythm part, I will either have my guitar panned left or in the middle, depending on what it needs to be doing. But again, this is all very much over and above what you need to do for a basic stream. So once we've got all our backing tracks set up and all of our sounds for our guitar programmed in on our channel strip, what we need to do is get our sound out of our DAW and into OBS for broadcast. And the way we're going to do this is using this Restream plugin. If you go onto the Reaper website, there's a Replugs bundle that you can download, and it has this plugin in there, and this allows us to broadcast the audio from our DAW to the same plugin in another program. Conveniently, OBS works with VST2 plugins, and that's what this is. So on one of your audio channels in OBS, what you can do is add this plugin in here. In your DAW, you'll set it up to send audio, so I've got this set to local broadcast there. If we go into OBS, what we can do is set up the same plugin here and just set this up to receive. And that will take the sound from your DAW, send it in OBS for broadcast. But that is not the only thing that we can send out from our DAW to OBS. So down here what we have is a channel full of MIDI triggers. Now these MIDI triggers are actually controlling the scene changes in OBS for me in time with the music. The way this works is each one of these MIDI signals here is sent out via a plugin called Loop MIDI, and that is a virtual MIDI interface. So we can send MIDI information from one program on our computer to another program on our computer. The program that we're controlling with our MIDI triggers is this MIDI key-to-key program. So for each MIDI command that comes in, there is a shortcut on our keyboard assigned to that. Those shortcuts on our keyboard in turn control the Leoden board, which is what I use for all of my scene changes. So whenever my DAW sees a trigger on MIDI note 24 or C1, it will automatically switch me back to my webcam view here. Likewise, if I was to play a guitar solo or something like that, it would switch me back to a full screen view where it would have a close-up on my fingers. Now one of the great things about using the Leoden board to trigger your scene changes is not only can we do it via keyboard shortcuts, we can also do it via Twitch chat. So chat can actually influence my visuals in real time as I'm playing along. But that's a subject for another video. So there you have it, a very brief walkthrough of my music streaming setup. Now if there's anything in this video you want to learn a little bit more about, please do let me know in the comments and we'll see about putting together a more in-depth video for those subjects. If you found this video useful or you enjoyed it, give us a like, and if you want to see more from the channel, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.